how do the modes of the minor scale work? And are they any different to the modes of the major scale? Are they related at all? And if so, how? Hi, I'm Luke from Become a Bassist, and if you've ever asked yourself these questions or wondered about the modes of the minor scale, keep watching. A funny thing happens when bass players learn the modes of the major scale and how they work. A lot of the time, rather than answering their questions, it brings up more questions. This is exactly what happened to an email subscriber of mine named Lasse, who wrote to me and asked, "I've gone through your ultimate guide to the modes. It really cleared up a lot of things for me, but I have one question left. When a song is in a minor key, I guess that the major scale modes don't fit. What am I supposed to use then? I really like the idea that with the major scale, the modes fit with the chords perfectly. I'm hoping there is a similar way for minor keys." This is a great question. Now, if you're not sure how the modes of the major scale work yet, then this lesson probably won't make a lot of sense. You really kind of need to have that knowledge as a foundation. And if you need help, check out my ultimate guide to the modes for bass that Lasse mentioned. You'll learn exactly how the modes work, plus where exactly to use them, and it's all jargon-free, no needlessly complicated terms or explanations, just a simple way to master the modes on bass. To get it, just click the link in the description of this video, fill out the form on that page, I'll send it straight to your email address. But right now, let's tackle this question. The good news is that once you've put in the hard work of learning the major modes, then you already know the minor modes. If the song you're playing is in a minor key, you can still use the modes of the major scale. All you have to do is start in a different place in the scale. For example, if you're in the key of G major, you'd have the notes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G again. And from there, you could build out the chord scale. So G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, and then of course the G major again. And over each of these chords, you'd play G Ionian, A Dorian, B Phrygian, C Lydian, D Mixolydian, E Aeolian, F sharp Locrian, and then of course G major at the top again. Yeah, these are our major modes. If you already know this stuff, then this is just review for you at this point. So what does this have to do with the modes of the minor scale? Well, check this out. If you look at the sixth mode of the major scale, you get Aeolian. This sound. Now, the other name for Aeolian is just a natural minor scale. A lot of the time when people say that a song is in the key of whatever minor, this is the home bass. This Aeolian, this natural minor scale. Anytime you hear Aeolian, you can just think natural minor. G Aeolian, just G natural minor. B Aeolian, just B natural minor. They're the same exact thing. But if we go back to our E Aeolian and build everything from this E natural minor scale, we'll get the minor modes on bass. Check this out. If our new home bass is this E Aeolian scale, we'd have the notes E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and E again. Now, if we build out the chords using these notes, we'll end up with E minor, F sharp diminished, G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, and then E minor again. Which means our modes will look like this: E Aeolian, F sharp Locrian, G Ionian, A Dorian, B Phrygian, C Lydian, D Mixolydian, and E Aeolian at the top again. Just like that. You'll notice that it's the exact same notes, the same chords, same everything as we had before. We're now just starting at a different point in the scale. And in this case, it gives us the modes for all the chords in the key of E minor. So if you're in the key of E minor and any of these chords from this key come along, you can now apply these same exact modes to these chords and know exactly what's going to work. This also means that the key of E minor and G major are related. They use the same notes, the same chords, the same modes. Everything is the same. And this is where it gets even more interesting. Every major key has a relative minor key, the minor key that uses the same notes as the major key. And that also means that every minor key has a relative major key, the major key that uses the same notes as the minor key. Now we've just found out that E minor was the relative minor of G major and G major was the relative major of E minor. They're a related pair of keys. But you don't have to go through this whole modes process just to figure this out. There's a much, much easier way. So here's the formula for figuring out your relative keys. So if you're in a major key and you want to find your relative minor, just go down 3 frets from the root, and that's it. For example, if you're in the key of B flat major and you want to find the relative minor, just go down a minor third. In other words, go down 3 frets from B flat to A flat, G. So G minor would be the relative minor of B flat major. If you want to go the other way and you're in a minor key and you want to find the major, the relative major, you just do the reverse. Go up 3 frets from the root of the minor key. So say you're playing a song in C sharp minor. From the C sharp, you just go up 1, 2, 3, and you'll find that E major is the relative major of C sharp minor. E major and C sharp minor are a pair of related keys. Couldn't be simpler. If you want another way to imagine it, to kind of think about it, think about pairing up Ionian modes and Aeolian modes from the same key. For example, if you know your D major modes really well, then you'll know that your 6th mode, your Aeolian, is B Aeolian. So you can very quickly figure out that B minor is the relative minor of D major and vice versa. You're pairing up the Aeolian and the Ionian. Like I said before though, if you don't understand your major modes, you're probably going to have a hard time understanding these kind of concepts in the minor modes since they're so closely related. So if things are still a little bit hazy for you, make sure you check out my free ultimate guide to the modes for bass. Like I said, you'll learn exactly how the modes work, where to use them, plus you'll get 24 practice tracks that you can use to start mastering the modes today. Just click the link in the description to fill out the form on that page. I'll send it straight to your inbox. It's 100% free and 100% fun. So go ahead and get started with that one today. Now, there are actually other minor scales other than the natural minor scale or the Aeolian that do exist. These are scales like the harmonic minor and the melodic minor, which are much less common and they have all of their own modes and everything as well. However, just knowing the natural minor modes, the ones built from the Aeolian scale, they will work for you the majority of the time. That is until you start playing kind of music that's a bit more harmonically complex. To recap though, you learned all about the modes of the minor scale. You learned that the modes of the minor scale and the modes of the major scale are exactly the same, just starting at different places within the scale. If you start on the 6th mode of the major scale, the Aeolian, that will give you the natural minor scale. And once you build out the modes from there, you'll notice that the same exact major modes, just in a different order and starting in a different point within the scale. You also learned how the major keys and minor keys are related and how to find both your relative major by going up 3 frets and how to find your relative minor by going down 3 frets. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure and check out that guide on the site. I'm sure you'll get a ton out of it. I'm Luke from Become a Bassist, and I'll see you in another lesson soon.